Hey, good afternoon. It is good afternoon. Yeah, good afternoon to you all, Silver Lining gang. It's Andy Reid here, host of the Silver Lining Show. And today I've got a couple of women that I have an unbelievable amount of respect for. First up is this young lady, Lana. It is Bonnet, isn't it? It's not Bonnet or any like sort of French.
Bonnet, yeah.
It is Bonnet. So you're not French.
Yeah. Mauritian.
All right, I'll let you off then. So I was going to say, there's no French people allowed on this show. And if you know what though, guys, if you are French and you do want to come on the show, it would actually be really, really funny. It'd actually be really cool. Anyway, so typical English guy. So Lana Bonnet is one of the directors of L&D Picturesque Painting. She has built a really successful business in the southeastern suburbs of Melbourne. The way she's gone about it has been particularly impressive, if you ask me. But like everybody, when you're running your own show, it comes with its own pressures. It comes with its own benefits, but you've got to pay a price for those benefits. And obviously, when you go into a situation like where we're in now, people handle it very, very differently. But the way that I've seen Lana work with what's gone on so far, I think it's a testament to the way that she goes about her life in general. Lana, how are you?
I'm good, Andy. How are you?
Yeah, I'm really, really good. Thank you. Yeah, looking like you're still on the tools, still slopping some paint around the place.
Yeah, so I'm currently just sitting in the car out the front of a job, just taking a break in between doing some glossing. To come chat to you in the car.
Very good, man. Very, very good. Look, so for those of you that don't know, Silver Lining, it's all about helping people to get through this corona cloud and out the other side to pastures fresh and new and shiny, all being well. Look, Lana, let's not beat around the bush. It's obviously been a really, really interesting time for everybody, and it goes without saying that there's obviously been chaos caused in lots of small businesses, lots of local businesses that have struggled and gone under and really struggled to maintain any degree of momentum moving forward. Before I get into how you found it in your experiences, human first, professional second, tell us who Lana is, what you're about, what your interests are, and a bit of a history.
Yeah, so obviously my name's Lana. I am 29, 30 this year. Don't know how the 30th is going to go, but we'll see how we go.
When is it?
Living up October, so hopefully we're, in
and is there an initial plan? Is an initial plan?
I was going to go to Port Douglas.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, we'll soon see. But anyway.
Anyway.
Yeah, living officer. I started a painting business with my best friend Danny 6 years ago, coming up. And yeah, we just get on with it. We do our thing. Our whole vision from the start has been to empower women, to change the statistics in the construction industry. So we want, to get out there and sort of maybe set an example so that other women and young girls coming through as well can sort of go through school and go, I can do more than, teaching, nursing, all the standard things that you're sort of directed, all those pathways that you're directed to in school. So, that's what we do. We just started a flooring side to our business as well, a couple of months ago. So that's going well. And in the spare time, I just love to cook, play footy, played soccer for a very long time. That's about it.
That's about it, she says. That's about it. That's about it, just a couple of bits. What made you get into painting?
Family business. We went through, both Danny and I. And then, we just decided to step out of those and step out together and do our own thing and shape our own values and the way that we do things, and just providing a really high quality service to our customers. We just wanted to do the best we could and have all of it in our control.
Look, the thing that one of a number of things that makes me respect you as much as I do, obviously being when you talk about the whole empowerment of women in stereotypically non-female type industries. Me being a dad of a daughter, the last thing that I would want her to feel is restricted in the choices that she has in life, purely based on the fact that she's a girl. All right. And so when I see people like yourself, going into an industry that is, is still heavily male dominated, lots of alpha males, rough and ready types, call a spade, no filter whatsoever. It really does make me appreciate the effort that you ladies have put into your business, and how you've set yourselves apart in that you've not forgotten who you are as women, and actually use that as an absolute point of difference with respect to how you provide your service. I think that's, for me, has been something that I've found to be really impressive, that you've not forgotten who you are. You've not tried to fit in, so to speak. You've set your own path, and you've done it in a way that I think it's rather impressive to see that you've taken the best parts of who you are as a woman, and then applied it to a very male. Look, attention to detail, things like that. There's certain DNA advantages that come with being a woman, and you're definitely using those without, and this is the best bit for me, without making a massive song and dance about it. Like, I know it's within your vision and whatnot, but it's not like you're going out of your way to make sure that everybody knows that you're a woman, right? If that makes sense. And that's what I found really, really cool. Was that your intention? Because you and yourself, for those of you that don't know who Lana is, she's a very humble individual. Was there any element of like crusade about it, or was it just something that you knew you were good at, you knew you wanted to do well, and and a byproduct essentially was the fact that you were going to break a stereotype?
Yeah, I don't think it was the initial intention, but the initial intention was, Dunny and I, we've been best mates for 15 years. We just wanted to work together. Right. And then, when we started working together and we started seeing how, some experiences that customers have had that have been negative, and, this, that, and everything else that you hear with dodgy trades, so to speak, along with that, we then, established our set of values and things like that. And it just sort of goes along with all those female type things that you were talking about. But we absolutely don't, plaster it everywhere, I suppose. Like, we have males in our team. We accept anyone in our team who, supports our vision, and they love it. Like, they absolutely love it. And yeah, we don't, we're a mixed team, but we just, we're run by females, I suppose. Like, that's.
And look, at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter who's holding the paintbrush as long as the job's getting done and it's getting done well, right? And that's what I really love about it, because you do see certain business models at certain businesses that they will have an all gender-based team, or they'll have an they'll all be of one type, one demographic, or what have you. And the fear for me with those sort of business concepts is the whole pigeonholing of who they are, and give me your opinion on this. I know we've digressed a little bit, but give me your opinion. It's like, I find that sometimes the risk of say, for example, having an all-female team, or a team that's entirely from one country or whatever, is that you kind of, because you spend so much time with each other, you kind of lose touch with almost the rest of the world, with respect to how other demographics and genders and biases operate. I mean, do you reckon that that's a fair thing to say?
Yeah, I definitely agree. I mean, there are certain customers out there that, for instance, would say, "Oh, we just want you girls on the job," or for whatever reason, And there are other customers that turn to us and say, oh, "We love the fact that you're a mixed team. We love the fact that we can deal with you and Danny, and we love the fact that we see all these other people inside as well." I like how we operate because I think the males and the females in our team. What one lacks, the other one brings. And I think we complement each other in that way. Um, and I think it's better to be diverse. I've always thought that in general anyway. So.
No, I couldn't agree more. Could not agree more. Now, this COVID nonsense, how have you found it?
Yeah, look, it's funny because a lot of people have asked the question of us. Like, we've got friends, and it's been really sad to have friends that have been in the beauty industry and things like that, and have had to shut. And it breaks your heart because it's just like far out. Like, if that was us, we would, you can't even imagine what it feels like. But a lot of people have been asking us how we're going. Danny and I, as soon as crisis hits, and like in our 6 years of running this business, we've had crisis upon crisis. Like, things just always come up when you run your own business. And every time crisis hits, we just get stuck in. It's like this just came up and we were like, okay, cool. Pick up a brush and off we go. And let's just go job by job. As soon as I think stage 2 came about, we went from having Danny and I plus 10 people to Danny and I plus 2 people. And I normally have a full-time staff member in the office. And unfortunately, she's got a young child, so she wants to stay at home. Totally understandable, but I had to pick up that as well. But it's literally just been within the space of a day, drop those people. Whenever they're ready to come back, they come back. But we've just gone, right, job by job, day by day. Let's just do what's in our control. And we've got the resilience to be able to take it. Like, it reminds me of a time when we didn't get paid for this certain job. I think it was $20,000 we lost. And Danny and I were renting a house together at the time. And we had paid the rent, we had paid all the bills, and we were sat in the house with no work. This builder said, no, not paying you. And we have $50 left to our name, like, to share. So we went down to the shops, collected all the stuff we could, and then just sat in there and thought, right, what are we going to do now? So when things like this come, we're like, oh, well, we've been through it before, sort of thing. We know what to do. We just get stuck in. We start at 5:30. We finish at 9, 10 o'clock at night. We just do it because you just have to do what's in your control, right?
Oh, look, and I'm so glad you literally just said right at the end there the thing that I was hoping you were going to come out with, because your work ethic, I reckon, is it stands up to any Pepsi challenge that anyone that I've seen. Like, your work ethic is quite outstanding, and I reckon, for a lot of people, and again, give me your thoughts on this. Technology is an amazing thing, and it provides efficiency, and it provides so many useful things that allow us the potential to do even better with what it is that we're doing. The problem with it is that it can make people do the same, achieve the same as what they were always achieving, but just not work as hard for it. It's sort of giving a lot of people a reason to take the foot off the gas in order to just maintain the level that they were having anyway. And work ethic, like hard work, it's not a forgotten commodity, but I do feel that, especially in a lot of small businesses and startups and what have you, that thing of just rolling your sleeves up, grabbing the paintbrush and cracking on, is something that I think Corona has actually served as a bit of a real harsh reality to a lot of us, that it's not easy. You do have to work hard. You may have managed to get a few good things going and a few quick wins going off the ClickFunnels or something like that, but at the end of the day, there is very little that substitutes for hard work.
Yeah, I think, I mean, to me, I don't know, I've struggled with sort of having staff, different staff members along the years and stuff. And just because I think because my work ethic is so high, it's something I pride myself on. And when you don't get the same out of your staff, you sort of think, oh, well, I just want you to do it like me, sort of thing, right? But for me, like, I get that there's no better feeling than, we get up at 5:30, I'll do an hour of office work, and then we'll jump in the car, we'll go to a job, and a job that should maybe take 2 days. We smash it out in a day because we are just running around, like, absolutely belting it out. And there's no better feeling getting back, and, like, it might sound funny, but your whole body is aching, but you feel accomplished. You feel like you've achieved something, you've done something. We've been out all day busting it out, so that then when we get home and we can sit there and we can go, well, okay, well, maybe that's, another month the business can survive if we get shut down. Like, it's a thing of all that is in your control. And when all is said and done, at the end of the day, you can sit there and fully know that you've given it your all.
And that's and there's a real key theme. It's becoming an incredibly key theme across a lot of these interviews on TSL. Is the need to focus on what you can control. It's not easy when you've got so much noise and speculation going around the social media channels and the mainstream media channels. Just so much speculation and hot air. For the sake of it, and it's very easy to buy into it when you've got such a high volume of it. The whole, what happens if this happens, what happens if that happens, all that sort of stuff. Essentially, who cares what could happen? Because none of us really know. So why speculate when we need to focus on the now? What's happening right now? It's super important, and I love the fact that you sort of said, we just sort of go, right, okay, well, let's just do one job at a time, and that's it. The fact that you've very basic terms, you're saying, look, one foot in front of the other. That's all we can do right now. I mean, look, you mentioned beforehand, before we came on air, that you even though you're still pretty consistent and what have you, your revenue stream has dropped significantly. In terms of other cost measures and what have you, and your control over your P&L generally. I mean, has there been any other sort of major areas where you've had to feel like you've had to really tighten the purse strings a little bit and sort of put things on hold for a while?
Yeah. So there's a few things we've been able to put on hold, which has been really good, and a bit of a help. But there are still expenses, and there are operating costs. But it's a case of that first week when all this started to go down, it was literally me, myself, and I with the profit and loss in front of me in an Excel spreadsheet, going, right, here's the deal, this is what we're going to do, and I'm going to find out this figure that we need, and it's a non-negotiable. We're going to need to just make this figure to keep this going, because I'm not going to let all this hard work slip because of this. So it was a case of, what is it that we normally spend, and it was, right, put this on hold, tighten this right up, no more spending on that. Danny and I took a 50% pay cut each as well, which, I mean, we're not going out anywhere anyway. What do we need money for right now? But as long as we've got food and as long as the bills are paid, we don't care. If it means we can keep our business, and that's totally fine. But it was just a case of tightening everything up, and it makes you realize, like, these things that you sometimes in a normal world, I suppose, you spend money on. Where's it all now? Where are all those things now? Like, it's made me realize our business can run leaner, and obviously that's one of the things I've taken out of it, that we will run leaner going forward as well. yeah, I don't know, a big learning curve with operating expenses for sure.
And that's was it Stu? Was it Stu said something yesterday? No, Dave said something last night. It's so strange, right? With all these interviews, one of you, like my last interview, there's always a connection between the last interview and the next one. It is so weird. And what
Really?
Dave said last night was that when you are building a business and when you are having a degree of success, whatever degree of success that is, it's all relative. Costs creep in really easily. Unnecessary costs, costs that you may not have spent as much time ascertaining whether it could be improved or whatever, because when things are moving along, it's very easy to forego a little bit of a cost analysis to a degree for convenience, right? You'll just make the decision because it's easier to make the decision and move on. Yeah. And it's very interesting that you say that from a small business operator point of view, that is a key thing that you are most definitely going to benefit from moving forward and out the other end of this is a much greater appreciation for your P&L. And it sort of ties in. And I was going to ask you about this being in the type of business that you've got, because we've talked about this at length over on a few occasions about job recognition and getting, feeling that you are providing a value, but getting that value in terms of the remuneration that you get for your service, right? Feeling that you can justify your cost through the value that you bring. I wanted to get your thoughts on, through the clients that you've been dealing with over the last couple of weeks, have you found that there's been any sort of change, or can you sense a bit of a change in how people are valuing service right now? Like, do you feel that there's been any sort of adjustment? Because I know that you've got quite a lot of consistent clients, which is great, but I just get the sense that for people like yourself who are so heavily service based and service focused, are you finding that people are actually appreciating it a little bit more?
Yeah, I am. It's really funny because, obviously a lot of people are at home right now and they're like, everyone thinks that they can paint. Like it's like a DIY thing, you see them do it on the block and they just, they go for it or whatever. But there's been quite a few clients that have come and said, oh, given it a shot and it's not gone to plan. Can you come in? And I don't mind about the price, whereas last year it would have been, oh, the price is a bit much. What if I do X, Y, Z myself, sort of thing. But yeah, that's been a bit interesting. But in terms of like, haggling our price down or anything like that, there's not really been anything like that sort of happen, which I'm thankful for. And I guess the conversations that you and I have had in the past around, what clients are our sort of ideal clients and where do we shift our focus to and all that. We are both really glad, Danny and I, that we made a decision last year as to which is our target market and where do we shift our focus to in terms of the clients that we love to work with, even in general, just, the type of work that we like to do, what we get paid for it and the people that we get to deal with. And that I'm so glad that we did that, because come now, it's still as normal in that respect. Like there is no getting paid late, or there is no trouble as such with jobs being on hold or anything like that. It's all as normal dealings in that sort of way, which I'm glad that we put in effort up until now with that, because there's been no change with it, so it hasn't affected us in that way. But with our obviously with our turnover and our revenue that dropping, that we normally do 6 jobs in a week consecutively. Now we're doing 1, maybe 2. So it's starting to pick up a little bit now that I think because of the media and how things are changing in the way of, we're likely to get relaxed soon, and all this sort of talk. I think people panicked a couple of weeks ago, but now they're sort of like, well, things are normal. All right, cool, girls, let's go ahead, So, look, I mean, revenues drop, but like I said, we can get stuck in. It's not a big deal for us.
I think, I'm really glad that you've sort of noticed that people are starting to value your skill set for what it actually is. So, and you know, whether it's a physical, tangible sort of outcome like your good work, or if it's a service based role that people are in, I think the opportunity here really is to really stamp home what your value proposition is and the value that you bring beyond the basic transaction of there's a wall, paint it sort of thing. You know, it's the value that you bring beyond the actual physical job of painting that wall. Correct? We've got a comment come through here. You've got a little compliment come here from Linda Hunt. They're amazing. I have so much love and respect for those two girls. Their work is second to none. Hey, there you go. A little bit of a testimonial for you there. Hey, how good's that? But you're absolutely. It's so good that you've noticed that, and I think it's something that business owners, whether it's service or product or whatever the case may be, I think maybe giving yourself an opportunity, if you can, or a little bit of a breather to say, right, what is my value? Like, what am I bringing beyond the transaction? Because right now, the transaction, people essentially don't care about as much as just being looked after, because that's what's happened, right? Society has been thrown into this lion's den of a thing, and the safer they feel, the more comforted they feel by whatever product or service it is, the greater value they are holding on that level of comfort and protection and safety and security and what have you. And I think that's a real opportunity there for small businesses to really, and local businesses to really hammer that home. You know, I don't know, you do a lot of work with, you do a lot of networking with small businesses, local businesses and what have you. Has there been anything that the networks that you work within, has there been any examples that you've thought, you know, where people have gone outside the box and really tried to present a value to their community that will serve them well moving forward? Is there any examples that you can think of?
Yeah, there's a party planner that I know, and you know, obviously overnight events just stopped. But she came up with something really cool where, you know, kids at the moment are obviously missing out on their birthday parties and all that sort of jazz. And she came up with a little party pack, and it gets delivered, and you know, it's got the balloons and it's got the little chocolates with their name on it, and it's like, it's all this cool stuff, and it's like it's thinking outside of the box. And the kids, you know, you see the photos of the kids there standing in front of their thing. They've still got their cake, they've still got their stuff, but I thought that was really cool because, you know, obviously it's easier to turn around and say, oh, well, you know, it's all shut, I'll just stop for now. But I love the thinking outside of the box. I thought that was a really good idea.
I think that's a bloody fabulous idea, to be perfectly frank. And again, it just shows that she, you know, yes, for her, it's a case of, right, I need to, you know, do something to make money. But to the consumer, it's a sign that you actually want to still give that business still wants to give their kid a birthday. And they're prepared to make that sort of effort to give their kid a birthday, which I think, you know, that if as a parent, if someone, you know, if a business that I'd pre-booked with or whatever, if they'd made that effort with me, they'd have me for life. Like, you know, even when the kids are like 18, I'd still be taking him to the play center or something and making him bloody go play on the slide or something like that, you know. It's stuff like that, guys, that is so important. If you've got you know who your consumer base is, you have a look at their lives right now and how it is being affected. If you've got something in your skill base or in your offering or your service or your product that allows you to get rid of that concern or that issue, or at least ease the pain of missing out on a birthday or whatever, then the emotional value that will be attached to that, I think, is way more significant now than I think it will ever be. If you would you agree with that? I mean, do you think there's anything else to add to that?
Yeah, I think I 100% agree. I think right now, if ever, because obviously people are having the time to notice things, to think about things, there's nothing else for anyone to do at the moment, in their spare time. So anything that you do that is even slightly of a difference to any of your competitors or, any other business around is going to be noticed.
Absolutely. And it's just that value piece, that the emotional connection that will be attached to any effort like that. It will be so much more significant. Now, Lana, I'm conscious that you're in the middle of the job and what have you, so I don't want to take up too much more of your time. Can you just give us maybe 2 points? If you could give us a couple of things that you found has really been pivotal towards you guys being able to maintain momentum, and or something that you've sort of done within yourself to manage the sort of initial anxiety, because there would have been that initial shock of, oh shit, this could really go one way or another here. So just give us one or two little hints as to how you've managed to stay so level.
Yeah, obviously, like you said, the first couple of weeks, the initial thing in my head was, far out, are we going to lose our business? Like, are we going to lose everything we've worked for 6 years? But immediately after come the, the resilience that I've tried to really, really work on with Danny as well. And I think the best thing and where it comes from is, even in the good times, still working on that professional development, still working on that resilience, working with mentors, speaking to other business owners. You have to work on your business as well as in it. I've been criticized a lot by people in our industry, for having a coach, for having a mentor, for, going to networking, for doing professional things, because you're just a painter, right? But when all this stuff hit, it all really helped because I know my numbers. I have resilience now because I've worked on it. We know exactly what we need to do. So for me, I guess it's a gratitude to the fact that we've always done hard work outside of painting, and that's what's helped us now for sure. And then obviously, alongside that is having a supportive partner and a really, really supportive, that close circle of influence. I speak about that a fair bit, and your close ones and having them, I guess, champion you and be there for you on the phone and whatever you need. I had a lady that I respect a lot and love dearly. She delivered us dinner last night to our door, so it's just things like that. It's just the close-knit circle around you and the professional development that we've done leading up until now definitely is what has helped us. So
I think a phrase that popped into my head as you were talking about working on your business as well as in your business is the need for preparation. It's that whole thing of, if you fail to prepare, then prepare to fail, right? And I think your awareness that you do need to work on the things outside of your core product that will allow to give you that greater perspective on everything that's going on, I think is a really, really good point. It's very easy right now for people to become so tunnel visioned on, what it is that they're doing primarily. But I think, the fact that you've taken the effort, you've made the effort, you've put in the investment into your own personal development that will allows you to have that strength in your mental framework to be able to handle this sort of pressure, I think is something that I think a lot of people will be found wanting right now. They're because they've ridden the crest of a wave, or they've you know, they've just enjoyed too good a ride for too long and really taken their foot off the gas when it comes to keeping their tools nice and sharp. So that, I think that's a brilliant point there to end on, Lana, is because I know personally, you know, from our conversations and whatnot, that the effort that you go to your professional development and what have you. But I think it's something that we can all learn from for all of it in all of our facets of our lives, right? Just because something's going well doesn't mean that you can stop getting better. You know, whether it's your mental health, whether it's your physical fitness, whether it's your business, whether it's your skill set within your business, right? So I'm sure you guys are still learning new stuff and seeing new bits of kit come out and you know, wanting to test and learn and try different stuff. And you know, I'm confident in saying on your part, you know, you will never feel like you're the finished article from a business point of view. All right. So, so I think that's something that will absolutely ring in people's ears, that you have to make sure that you are keeping everything sharp, and you are looking to always improve at those different elements of your life and your business. So, Lana, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. I know how chock-a-block you are, so I'm going to let you crack on. But you know, stay safe, stay cool, and you know, and how can people find you? So, have you got a website, obviously?
Yeah, thank you so much. We've got a website, we've got Facebook, we've got Instagram, so all 3 channels there. And
what's your website, just so I can pop it up on here for people?
Yep, www.ldpp.com.au.
ldpt.com.au. I will pop this up on the screen now.
Yeah,
so guys, sorry?
PP.
PP. Okie dokie. Let me just put that out. ldpp.com.au. Awesome. Look, Lana, thank you so much. Here comes the website now, guys. If you do want to catch up with them, that's the site to go to. They are a fabulous service down in the southeastern suburbs of Melbourne. But aside from anything else, if you just wanted to reach out to Lana, you know, if you're a young female wanting to get into the trades, I'm sure she'd be happy to help. You know, she's an absolute shining example of what can be done, and the fact that it really makes no difference where you're from, what you're about, and what you're made up of. If you have got that level of work ethic and you've got that level of determination and you've got the right value set to do the right thing, then you can do extremely well in whatever it is that you want to do. Lana, thank you so much again. You take care, all right? And I'll speak to you soon.
Thanks, Andy. Thank you.